Dear Diary. Today, something happened that I can't quite wrap my mind around. It's haunting me, even though I feel oddly numb about it. For months, I've been dealing with success, one of my most disruptive learners. A 17-year-old boy who seemed to have made it his mission to make my life miserable. His favorite torment was blowing that stupid whistle into my ears every time I turned my back. The sound still echoes in my head, sharp, shrill, and so relentless it felt like a punishment just to exist in his presence. No matter how many times I reported him, nothing ever came of it. The principal, Dr. Mark, laughed it off, as if it was a joke. "They're just kids," he'd say, brushing me off with that sleazy grin of his. "You need to learn how to handle them better." Handle them better? What does that even mean? I became a teacher to shape minds, not to endure daily torment. But Dr. Mark only seems to care about what favors or money he can squeeze out of the parents. The thought of him still makes me sick. Success was untouchable. His family, wealthy and well-connected, kept him shielded from any form of discipline. No detention, no suspension, nothing. Every time I confronted him, he grinned at me like I was nothing but a punchline. He saw me as weak, as someone he could humiliate without consequence. And every time that whistle pierced my ear, it chipped away at something inside me. I can't remember the last time I felt excited to stand in front of a classroom. I dragged myself to school each day, feeling more like a babysitter than an educator. Today was no different, until it wasn't. After the bell rang and the other students had shuffled out, it was just me and success left in the room. I was packing my things, pretending not to notice him. He stood at the back of the classroom, twirling the whistle around his finger, smirking like always. I didn't even react when he brought it to his lips. It's like I had grown immune to the torment. Then it happened. He blew the whistle once, twice, and then he started choking. At first, I thought it was another one of his cruel jokes. But when his face turned pale, panic filling his eyes, I knew it wasn't a game. He clutched at his throat, gasping, trying to cough it out, but the whistle was stuck. He looked at me then. Really looked at me. His eyes, wide with fear, pleading. And in that moment, I just stood there. I watched as he stumbled, fell to his knees, and fought for breath. His hand scratched at his neck, his mouth opened in desperate, soundless gasps, and the shrill whistle lodged in his throat made every wee sound like a twisted melody. It took a while. Longer than I expected. He clawed at the floor, then lay still. I never moved. I never even thought to help him. I just stood there, watching. And when it was over, I felt nothing. I don't know what this says about me. Maybe it says everything. I used to believe in making a difference. I believed I could inspire my learners, but this system crushes that belief faster than you can imagine. The disrespect, the noise, the constant battle just to be heard, it drains you. It makes you feel small, worthless. And then, you add people like Dr. Mark, whose corruption leaves teachers powerless. What are we even supposed to do when students like success know they'll never face consequences? I guess today was the first time he ever truly learned what it meant to face a consequence, too late for either of us. I keep replaying the moment in my mind, wondering if I could have stopped it. Should I have? But then I remember every time he blew that whistle, every time I begged for help, and every time no one listened. And I realize I just didn't care anymore. I've heard people say that teaching is a calling. If it is, then I'm not sure who's on the other end of that line anymore. Maybe it's time I stop answering. I don't know what will happen now. Someone will eventually come looking for him, and there will be questions. I'll have to say something, but I don't think I'll lie. I'll just tell them the truth. He blew the whistle one too many times. And in the end, it was the last sound he ever made. Maybe that's justice. Maybe it's tragedy. I'm too tired to tell the difference.